Here we are, another Thursday night of the grind. Tonight's show is proudly brought to you by American Drag Seats, home of the integrated sissy bar seats and the custom air ride seats. You can reach us online at americandragseats.com or call or text at 832 287 2880. So, everybody, here we are, another Thursday night, first Thursday night of 2021. And man, what a shit show we got going on this year already. I'm relatively sure 2021 just said, watch out, 2020, hold my beer. But you know what? We're going to get through all this stuff. We're going to be good, man. What's up, Mr. Joshua Brooks? Mr. Uncle Bruno's in the house. Ricky Graffio, what's up? What's up, Jeremy? What's up, Dan? What's up, Joe Hill? Billy Faust in the house. Appreciate everybody watching. Look at that. What's up, Aaron? Excuse me, I'm eating M&Ms. Christmas M&Ms. Anyway, so man, I've got to just start tonight's show off on a light note. What's up, Witten? Mr. Blowmarch in the house. Glad you're feeling better, Blow. I got to start this year out, first show of the year, and wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Wish everybody a Happy New Year. What's up, Michael? And let everybody know, man, I finally made it to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, as everybody saw. Man, I had a blast. I'll tell you what, I had a blast. It was so much fun. It was like I was 10 years old, man. What's up, Carl? Such a good time, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm really blessed to have, first of all, work all year to be able to afford to go to this trip. And I want to thank my wife because my wife actually paid for that trip for a Christmas present for me and Cade. We had just an amazing time. But I want to get on to the grind. National Biker Build Off 2021. What's up, Mr. Kevin Baird? What's going on? So, guys, we are building steam. Everything is kicking ass and going great so far. I have sent out so many. Hold on. You're right. You know what? Let me stop this right now. I need to stop it. Stop my conversation. I need to go over here and show you all this. As everybody knows, Mr. Will Bond from Sound Wars suddenly passed away right before Christmas. And I want to take just 2 seconds, have a moment of silence for Will, because he did a lot of great things for this industry and the stereo competitions, traveling all over the country, introducing people to people, and doing a really good thing. So if everybody could just send out some prayers and some love to Sandy Bond on the show, please leave it in the comments for me right now. But let's all just take a minute of silence and reflect on that for just a second. Okay, guys. As y'all know, Will Bond passed away very suddenly, and I'll tell you what, our whole entire industry took a loss on that one, and everybody at the grind, um, all the fans, all the followers, everybody involved are sending out nothing but prayers and love for Sandy, and we will keep them going in our thoughts and our prayers, and damn sure keep his memory alive at all these rallies we're going to attend this next year. Amen. Okay, so let me get back over to the Grind National Biker Build Off. So it's going good. Everything is really starting to shape up. I don't have any sponsors yet at all, but I have sent out probably 20 or 30 emails with the sponsorship package. So if you're interested in possibly being a sponsor, I'll say it right here. Packages range anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000. Um, the $10,000 spots are actually going to be the executive producers for the documentary that I'm actually doing. Um, I've done some test videos with Dan Zubian from Chi-Town Customs, and the videos came out phenomenal. You need to go to, and I'll show you on my phone real quick. You need to go on your cell phones to either your iTunes store or whatever they call it, or your like for Android, it's your Google Play Store, and you can download. If you look right here, you can download the WhatsApp. Let me get that a little bit closer for you. The WhatsApp. Dang it. I'm so not good with this. You can download the WhatsApp. And if y'all can see that, it's called WhatsApp. Download that app onto your cell phone. When the app is downloaded, you can go into it and hit the little plus sign, which I'll show you. So right here at the bottom, you just hit this. Hit that, God dang it. Hit that button, and it brings up all your contacts that are already on the WhatsApp. So you can just scroll through all of them, and you just find me. And when you find me, you'll just click my name, and that's where you're going to send all of your videos to. So I'm not 100% sure, but I do know this. I'm on the app, so I know that when you do it, you'll be able to send me videos. Um, my best friend's wedding, they did an 8-minute video, and he sent that, and it was almost like lightning speed that video, an 8-minute video went from their phone to my phone just so fast. I'm going to post this up for Miss Sandy Bond. She says, thank y'all so much. I appreciate everyone's prayers and need them daily. This is definitely a hard one to handle. He was my world. Yes, he was, Sandy. And that was very evident every time we saw you guys together. He's definitely going to be missed. And like I said, man, we love you. And we're here to help you get through this very, very hard time. So, as everybody knows, the build off has officially started. We are officially 7 days into the build off. There aren't going to be any videos unless a builder wants to post videos. They can. I just ask that they post them to the grind page, or they can post them to their own page and tag me. You don't have to. If you want your bike to be a complete unknown, nobody knows what you're building, that's totally fine, because it will be in the documentary. And once the show is completely over, people will be able to buy these DVDs from me, but we're also going to be trying to get the DVD or get the video itself, the full-length documentary, either on Amazon Prime, Discovery Channel, or somewhere like that, so it's on a bigger platform. But I will also have individual DVDs of the documentary for sale. I would love to tell you how much they'll be, but I don't know that yet. It's just really going to depend on how many copies I get, how much interest I get in them, and things of that nature to make it happen up front. So, anyway, the deadline is March 1st. You must fill out the rule sheet. And on the rule sheet at the very bottom, you can see when you print it out, copy and paste it, and print it out. At the bottom of the sheet, there is a where you can sign it and date it. It has to be in my hand no later than March 1st. So if I do not have your signed rule sheet and I don't have your money by March 1st, by the time I go to bed, which is typically around midnight, you will not be in the build off. Sorry, but there's a cutoff date. March 1st at midnight. If I don't have it in my hand, it's not going to be good. So you got to fill it out, and you have to, sign the paperwork and then get a money order. and mail it to me. Make the money order out to Kevin Sockwell. So when I get the money orders, I will take them to my bank and I will cash each money order as I get it and hold the cash in a lockbox, okay, in my safe. The reason I'm doing this is because I want the builder that wins this show, or the two builders that win this show, I want to hand them cash. I also, if anybody knows anybody that wants to sponsor the show, which would be me, just have them message me and I will email them over the full sponsorship package, because we do need sponsors so that I can get my side of the show taken care of, get new banners made, hopefully get some hats, t-shirts. I've already got the stickers made, do some Facebook and regular advertisements with it, get the booth built, get everything really cool for it. And last but not least, be able to pay the person that's actually doing the documentary. That's one of the biggest expenses I have. And yes, even though this little company, American Drag Seats over here, is funding everything at this point in time, we have 0 sponsors so far. We have a lot of support, but we have 0 sponsors at this point in time. So everything's coming out of my pocket right now. So how Kevin Baird's asking how many people are in it right now so far. So I don't have anybody's money yet. Nobody has sent the money, but from the people that I've spoken to that said they want in it, I've got 17 people that have said they want to be in it. That would be, well, let me tell you how much money that's going to be right now. Collectively, it's going to be that's $42,500 worth of entry money, if all 17 people actually give me their money and sign the contract or the rule sheet. $42,500 is what the pot's up to right now. So that's funny you say that, Ray. I don't know how many are in each class, because I've actually had a couple of the builders say they want to be in both classes. So I mean, I'm hoping to get it at least a very minimum of 10 builders or 10 bikes in each class. I'm hoping it's way more, but I won't know that till I start getting those signed rule sheets with the money. I won't know, but I will say this: on March 2nd, I'm going to give a full list of all the builders that are going to be in the show. And that's it. Once I make that list and put it out on the public, that's your builders for 2021. We won't be taking anybody else after the fact. Let me look at something. Oh crap, I missed it. Hold on. I forgot how I had to do this right here. Let me do this right here. So where I is. So I just invited our good friend Chris Moose into the show. Let's see if Chris comes in here. Banger Audio Sound Series 4 supports you, Sandy Bond. Amen. Man, we got a lot of people watching tonight, buddy. The entry fee, Alan, is $2,500 per bike, not per shop. It's per bike. The reason is because some shops have wanted to enter bikes in both classes. There's only 2 classes. You have baggers and softails will be in one class. You have choppers and bobbers will be in one class. That's the only 2 classes we've got. The reason for that is because right now, 99% of all of these builders are building these bikes, these styles of bikes. I haven't had anybody else bring up anything else. So that's the 2 classes we're going to have this year. And Louis Bailey, what do you mean? Let's move on to the next subject. The next subject is that's the whole subject of the show, is just that. Is this National Biker Build Off. And how big it's going to actually end up being. And when I say big, I don't mean like it's going to have 100 bike builders in it. That would be freaking awesome if that happened. The frick, how many would, let me do the math on that. You have 100 builders. That's $250,000. Holy shit. Oh my God. I'd have to hire armed security guards just to escort me down there with the money. Remind me how. Oh my God, Louis Bailey. Is your seat done? Sure. Yeah, it's done. Eventually, I'm going to get the goddamn seat and I will actually start working on it. I'm so excited to work on it. Anyway, everybody say hello to my good friend, Mr. Chris Moose. What's up,
What's
buddy?
going on, man?
Nothing. I'm just sitting here trying to get everybody as fired up about this show as I am. I mean, I'm so excited. It's not funny.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. Everything's awesome.
Let me see if I can get rid of that light overhead real quick. Make that go away a little bit.
Hey, you're good.
Good looking.
So, hey, is that your new roaming home back there?
No, that's not mine. That's Mom's. So Mom's got 65 Bolzero.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, no, mine. I got a 83 Silver Streak that I got, and I picked up a 72 Travelese.
So, well, I don't want to get off into your business, but I mean, is that a whole nother business venture, or is that just something
Yeah, I'm looking at like maybe doing like a campground type vintage RV. Like you can't bring your fucking RV, but you can come like stay in one kind of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, tie that into like a restaurant, brewery, something like that. Whiskey house, winery. I don't know.
So, what part of the world is that going to be in?
I don't know. I just started buying campers.
Holy moly! Yeah. That's actually a good idea. I watched a documentary actually on Amazon Prime with that guy from the Zombieland or whatever show that was, and he was riding around all over all over the country on motorcycles, and they stopped in at a place and spent the night, and they had RVs, vintage RVs, and those were your rooms you stayed in.
Well, ultimately, what I'd like to do is get enough established in an area that's cool enough and then host a motorcycle event around that venue, which would also allow people to then stay in the facilities that I provide. So, I mean, it's just it's a long-term, not long-term-ish goal. We'll see what happens. But other than that, I mean, I'm excited to see what people are bringing to the table this year. I know a couple of people that are already in. Got a couple of messages that were like, hey, man, I mean, like, I'm in on this thing. So, like, let's get fired up and make it happen. I'm really excited to see what 2021 brings. A lot of people got shit on last year. I lost everything I freaking owned almost shut the shop down, almost got evicted, got my freaking truck repossessed, like crazy shit, chopped my shop in half. And then like 2 months ago, I started building mobile COVID testing facilities, and I've had a banner year all of a sudden.
There you go. That's what I was about to ask you. That's why I said I didn't want to get in your business, but I heard you were doing that, and I was like, wow, how did you even land on those things?
I've been a guy for over 20 something years where people just say, hey, can you? And before they say what it is, I say yes. I mean, that's Dana Hallberg. He said the same thing. He didn't even get it all the way out of his mouth at Sturgis one year. And I went, we could do something. Whatever you want. Like, the thing is, like, yes, I build motorcycles. Yes, I build hot rods. I do whatever. But, man, I'm just a guy that likes to make shit, dude. And
well, that's very obvious with making those things. That's that I don't want to get off in your business, but that's got to be a really good gig.
It's been pretty good. I put it this way, man. I was really blessed with opportunity, and somebody came to me who I trust really well, veteran friend of mine, and presented it to me. It was really difficult at first. I figured it out, and then I was just really, really, really humbled and blessed by the opportunity that I had to where I could feed other families for Thanksgiving and Christmas and provide income for them and create stability in somebody else's life. Like for me, that was probably the most rewarding part of the whole process, was being able to financially provide for other families at this time of year. Cause I know what it's like to struggle and not have financially a really, structured, solid part of this year. It can be very depressing. It's
Oh
hard.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been, and we're basically, I put it this way: if you guys in my area, you can't buy a 20-foot enclosed trailer because we bought them all. We bought almost every 20-foot enclosed trailer in freaking Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas that you could get your hands on, and we basically would turn them into opposing two windows. So like if this, I'm looking at the screen, I'm doing this mirror image. So you'd have two drive ups. You drive up this way to the trailer, and you had like get distributed COVID test out, and they put them back in, and it's interesting. But
Wow.
it is slowing down right now for a little bit because it's like the whole holiday. We don't know what's going on. Head up our ass corporate bullshit.
Yeah.
So end of the month we'll pick back up. But the thing is, I've got right now I've got 2 lay frame 30 frames to build. I've got 2 gas tanks that need to have knee cuts in them. I've got a 250 rear 08 down right hand drive bagger that a guy sent me that I'm doing a bunch of sheet metal work on. 5-speed of all things. Anyway, he's building like I think he said he's building a Pro Charge motor, 200 plus horsepower for it. And then I've got a lay frame Road King 2020 King that I'm building for Daytona, and then I'm finishing up the Slow Rider. Going out next week to see Danny over at Leading Edge, Motor Witch Danny. 159 in the 2020 Lowrider S that I've got. Ward's heads, intake, horsepower ring, throttle body, all that kind of fun stuff. So
when do you sleep?
What was that word?
I said, when do you sleep?
I still can't understand the last word in the sentence.
I don't understand French.
You just come on to me.
When somebody says stuff that makes me tired, I know they're freaking busy.
Oh, man. I gotta meditate.
Dude, okay. So I'm sure you've been to the page. You saw the rules. You saw the judging criteria. Being associated in this industry and doing all the shows that you've been involved with or been to, do you think that's a pretty well-rounded amount of judging criteria?
I think criteria is pretty fair, and it was something that I was going to talk to you about. I think that we could like tweak it a little bit because I think there was a little bit of overlap with some of those, but I mean, for the most part, it's spot on. Well,
I had somebody actually message me right after I put them up, and they're like, dude, why the hell would you put seats on there? Nobody's going to judge the seat.
And I was like, ask you that question, and did you just turn her back around and say, do you know what I fucking do for a living? Go eat, block.
Well, I actually told him, I was like, you do realize they never, ever, 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 ever do the seat to the last freaking second. And then they put you under a lot of pressure. And then it's the least looked at thing on the whole entire bike, but it's the cherry on top of the entire build. I was like, why wouldn't I do that? It's time the seat guys get some fucking credit.
So you realize that ever since 2012, 13 or whatever, since I kind of stepped into this world, and for all of you that don't know, that's how long I've been fucking with motorcycles. Like I didn't even ride one till 2015 or some shit. But anyway, man, it was so important to do seats because I come from a hot rod world where upholstery's fucking everything, man. I've built cars that have like $120,000 to $150,000 interiors. And that's cheap in some of those cars. And so for me, it was real important, like with to go way back to freaking Al's bike. What was it? The 6 CVO. Man, that thing, it was real important that the seat flowed into the fender, and I notched the fender to take the seat. So the seat was like still this thick in the fender.
Yeah.
So that it was like a fluid line back up into the dash and all that stuff. And that all of the stitching laid in just right. And that it tied into the tank and all those things super critically, because I thought it was like super important that the seat be one of the most responsible, like visual cues in the middle of the bike, because in the middle of the bike, what do you have to look at?
Right.
Nothing.
That's it.
And so for me, I refuse to build a bike. If I take a bike all the way down to the frame and I powder coat the frame and everything goes back together, you're building a bike. But I think that's very responsible to build a custom seat. Build your seat pan or modify the seat pan that you have. change the shape and style of it completely, and definitely stitch it custom, not just buy a seat and put it on, because I feel that that's the difference that separates builders from, you know, guys that are doing a great job of bolting on parts, that when you can take the time and attention to detail and spend that little bit of extra money to make sure that that part of the bike is also custom, I think it's super important. So for me, number one, my frames will never be black. Number two, my seats will never be off the shelf.
So you guys like me, like,
Two most important criteria for me when I build a bike.
yeah. Well, that's one of the things with it. So part of what I'm trying to do is get people building, you know. See,
You got that Coca-Cola over there.
that's right, brother. So, but one of the things I'm really trying to express to people, and you can't do it via text or, you know, an email, is letting them know what the show is, what the show is about, why I'm actually doing this show. You know, there's a handful of reasons why I'm doing the show. A, I want the builders to start getting the credit that was real big in the early 2000s. I want it back like that.
Yes.
Where builders were actually rock stars and builders were approached by people for just autographs. You know, guys like you should be taking pictures with babies and be signing boobies. That's what you should be doing.
I shake babies and then I kiss. So anyway, man, I tell you what, one of the most humbling things in the world for me, we were going down to Galveston, as a matter of fact, and this is Misfit days. We're all wearing our brand new Dickies Misfit shirts and shit, and we pull into this place for barbecue. And there was this kid who is on break from the drive-through, wearing his headset still, in a really beat up freaking Dodge, like early 90s truck. And he kind of double take at us, and I could see him digging for some shit, and he rolled his window down, and we're just walking back with our barbecue. He worked at Jack in the Box next door to the barbecue joint. And he looked at, and he, like, with his crumbled up paper, he's like, "Hey man, can I get some autographs?" It was a little squeaky voice, and I was like, yeah. Everybody else that I was with, the owners of the company, my coworkers, the other shitheads that are no longer part of a business that doesn't exist, they're all like, ha, 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 we're too big for that. And they fucking walked off. This dude looked at our trailer with our logo on it, and all these guys were dressed alike. And he's like, they must be somebody. I got to get their fucking autograph. It's the only time I've ever had anybody ask for my fucking autograph. And I was like, fuck yeah, you can have my autograph. That's badass. I walked over there, and I gave that dude everybody's personal cell phone number. You can call any of these guys anytime you want.
Anytime you want, just call them.
See,
that's great.
Like, the thing, you're right, because like the 2000 era of the chopper industry, that's like was this. I started messing around with stuff in like late 90s, mid 90s.
Tilt your phone up.
Rods and stuff like
We're
that.
only seeing you from here down. Tilt your phone up a little bit. There you go.
So in the late 90s, early thousands is when I was like, I want to build cars. I want to build hot rods. I want to be in magazines. I want to do all that stuff. I thought it was super cool, you know? And it was because of the personalities that we saw on TV that really drove me to do what I do today, man. And I've had an amazing freaking life. I've struggled a bunch. Don't get me wrong. I think we all know what that's like.
Amen.
But it's like we struggle for the love of our craft, you know?
Absolutely.
And it's so valuable to me to see other people do the same thing, because I know what they're going through to get there. And I'm blessed to have the opportunities that I had, and I will never put that aside. But you're absolutely correct. I think if we can start looking at what we can do to create more personality within the industry, the personalities drive the industry, man. I mean, you've seen it time and time again. There's waves of it, you know, and I think if we can recreate this persona, hopefully with some humble pie and a little bit of attitude and a little bit of shit showery, but let's create more personality behind the culture, because when we do that, other people outside the industry are going to go, oh, they're fucking cool, man. I want to do some of what they're doing, and it grows with the industry. 100%.
So, you know, So, you know, one of the things I text messaged you this, and you're always such a great dude. I mean, I love you to death, man. But I told you I want a picture of you with one
Oh,
of
I
your.
forgot.
So again, my wife was asking. She goes, "Well, why do you want pictures of the judges?" I said, "Well, because the judges are the fucking rock stars right now. Those are the actual draw to that show right now." And she goes, "Well, how are they they're not the bike builders." I said, "No, but they're the guys that are going to pick that bike builder."
Mm-hmm.
So she goes, "Well, why do you want pictures of them?" I said, "Well, because every piece of advertising I do, I'm going to put those 4 people on the advertisement and say, these are your celebrity judges. So you're going to be celebrities the second you walk up to that venue because I'm promoting you as the celebrity judges." Now, the reason I'm doing that is because when we get to that show, how many people are going to be smart enough to bring their own apparel to that show? I don't know. I'm bringing some grind apparel. I'm paying to have some shit made. But how cool would it be when you have people there? Exactly. Exactly. How cool would it be if you had a group of people, a line of people? Holy shit, that's Chris Spruce. Holy shit. And you got a line of people wanting an autograph and they want to buy your t-shirt. You know, if I can't build it, why am I even here? I mean, because I want to do it for the builders also. So I'm promoting everybody that's a part of it. But
Man,
you 4 guys are literally my 4 rock stars to get the crowd involved in it. And then once they get there and see the bikes,
don't go
then
anywhere. I'm listening. I'm listening. Don't go anywhere.
right. So
This is my new favorite. This is my new favorite thing. You see that?
Yeah.
It's grip tape.
4.
I don't give a shit what you do with it. It's just fun. Like, this is the kind of shit that like makes the industry cool too. So like when you talk about people selling their stuff, it's like I just give this shit to people so they can put it on their ice chest or like on their boat so their beer doesn't slide around and shit. I mean, you should have cup holders, but I think that it's like super valuable for people to look at opportunities to create retail experiences that connect people with their end users. And it's like you can't afford to, not everybody can afford to build a 30, 40, 50, 100, $20,000 fucking bike or car. But man, you could look cool as shit and wear someone's shirt. And there's so many people that will do that because that was and still can be a huge part of our industry.
Absolutely.
It's tangible, man. People can put their hands on shit like this, and like someone will see this on their ice chest and be like, "Oh man, I fucking love that dude," or whatever the hell it is.
Oh
So
yeah.
like it's super important to create personality within the industry in order to drive the industry, because without personality, what the hell do you have? Parts? Man,
That's right.
I was just talking the other day to my foot pegs and they were like, "You're so cool for using me."
It's so cool that
There's
you get
somebody has that conversation, and
you
that's
you
great.
you get that. You understand that. And I wish builders, other builders understood that you like Curly. Curly legitimately is a rock star in this industry.
Yeah,
Luke
Curly's great.
Bailey is a rock star in this industry. You know, they're 2 of the biggest names in the industry, and there's a whole list of them that are. But they're, and I hate to say this because it makes it sound bad, but they're rock stars to the industry, the group, the builders. I want them to be the rock stars to the fucking patrons,
To
to
people,
all.
yeah.
And the reason I want to do that is because Jesse James made so much money on t-shirt sales. It wasn't funny. I
But
watched the
I
documentary.
tell you what, not as much as somebody else.
Is that a stab or is that a truth?
No, it's just the truth. I'm just saying, man. Jesse made a ton of money on shirts, but I mean, you can't tell me there's not about 100 billion Choppers Inc. shirts floating around the universe.
Oh no, you're right. You're 100% right.
That was, I
Choppers
think,
Inc. And I've got the hat, I've got the t-shirt, and I mean he was a friend of mine back then, and I've got pictures and autographs of that motherfucker. You know, but
such
they
a humble dude too, man.
and he really is. But you
Yeah.
get it. You get my point right there. You can't get his bike, but you can get a picture, you can get an autograph, and you can get a t-shirt. Who doesn't like his original trucker hats? I fucking love mine.
Cool.
I don't wear it because I don't want to wear it out, because I just don't.
Yeah. That's like the guy that says, I'm not going to ride this bike because I don't want it to have a lot of miles on it when I sell it
Oh,
to
no,
the
not
next
me.
guy.
I'm the
It's like,
opposite with a
well, I'm
bike.
just not going to fuck my old lady so the next guy can really get a good tight fit. You know, it's
Well,
like,
I wore
wear
my
the damn
shirt.
thing.
I wore the shirt out. The hat, I'm not going to wear the hat out. Did you just fall?
Well, this is my welding chair, man. That thing's beat up, so I'm gonna have to switch over to a little ladder I got.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
You
I'm
didn't
good.
hurt nothing
Oh, I
other
didn't
than you
fall.
cried a little bit,
I
right?
didn't fall.
You
I'm gonna have
caught
to walk.
yourself?
I'm gonna have to. I didn't hurt myself.
That's
Just
good.
gonna have to walk into my refrigerator real quick and replenish my drink supply. But tell me a little bit about what you're doing. So I heard you make a comment. You said you don't have any. You don't have
Sponsorship?
any sponsors currently.
No.
I'll see what I can do to kind of generate some attention there for you, because I think that there's opportunity for somebody to really step up
Mm-hmm.
and be a part of this. Really hate that damn light up there. Can you see
Well,
it?
either you got to put the phone up or you got to go down, because you're like right here. There you go, right there.
Is this light is this light
No,
really annoying?
no, we can't. In the video, it looks just fine. It's a little bit of a halo up to the right corner
Because
of
I'm a
your head.
fucking angel, man.
There you go. Dude, I swear to God, it looked like you just had a filter on your face.
But
But
yeah,
anyway,
I mean, I would
so
love to see what we could do, and I think that it's real responsible too. And I'm going to challenge everybody this. So for everybody that's putting their money in to be a part of this build, if you have a company, a corporate company that you do business with, parts, etc., those kind of industry related stuff, I challenge the people that are putting their hard-earned money up to build these badass bikes. Reach out to the people you do the most and best business with to see if they can be a part of what you're campaigning to do. Like, say, hey, I need your parts for this bike, but instead of your sponsorship for me, why don't you do me a favor and hit up Kevin and find out what you can do to help all of us make this an amazing event?
yeah, that would be
Why
awesome.
not? Why not?
Amen.
A lot of us have really great relationships with companies that we buy tons of parts from.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need cheap or free parts for a build that you're doing if you're trying to support something. And if your support is the $2,500 you put in and you build a bike and that's your money, I understand that's expensive shit. I've built plenty of bikes where we got nothing in return. And it was like, hey, come to the show and build this bike. And we're like freaking, $50,000 or $100,000 into something. And they're like, hey, thanks. Handshake.
Yeah.
See you later. So put the effort into trying to support this show, because I think it's extremely valuable for what you're doing for the industry, man. I really appreciate you for doing it.
Well, and I appreciate guys like you that inspired me to do it. We all have that defining moment where it was like, man, that makes me really want to do this. And for me, 100%, it was Jesse James on Motorcycle Mania 1, the very first one. When I saw that, I was like, that's what I want to be. I want to be a part of that, And I mean, I rode bikes before that, crotch rockets, but I didn't really know about the cool choppers and the building and all that. But when I saw that first show, I was like, oh yeah, that's my gig right there. That was what, 2000, 2001 when that came out.
Yeah.
So I've been in it since then. But anyway, beyond all that, getting guys like you and getting guys like Curly and Dustin Maben and even my painter Patrick, getting 4 guys that are so really talented and good at what they do. When I've told a lot of everybody knows that it's y'all 4, but I haven't had a single person say a single negative word about the 4 judges yet. And that makes me feel really good, because I want to make sure that everybody respected everybody that I put in the positions that I put in, because they're good at what they do. I mean, you're qualified enough to judge the entire thing by yourself. But when you put Dustin Maben beside you,
I love Dustin.
Jesus Christ, oh my God.
Dustin's multifaceted too. Him and I are pretty good friends, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I call him a brother, to be honest with you, because he's extremely talented in what he does. He's super attentive to detail. And you know what I like the most about him too?
He's humble.
He's a good father.
He's a great father. He's amazing.
That dude not only dedicates himself to his craft, but he dedicates himself to his family, and that's a real responsible guy.
Oh yeah, and he's a single father also.
He is. I know exactly what that's like.
That's hard. But
I
so,
know.
and then you take someone like Curly that, his personality is as big as the Empire State Building and he's good at what he does. So I just really thought about the group of guys and I was like, man, these guys will be able to pick these bikes apart in really good ways. Now, did you hear, and I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I know if I were in it, I would love this opportunity. Every single builder gets 3 minutes to talk to the four of y'all about their bike. So that if there's a story behind the bike or whatever they want,
get
3 minutes.
3 minutes individually per
Oh,
person or as a group of judges?
As a group of judges.
Can we make that 5 minutes?
Depending on how many judges there are. I mean, I'm not judges, but how many entrants there are.
Yeah, we're talking about
I might be there.
Okay, if you end up with 40 guys and you're talking 5 minutes each, that shouldn't matter. I mean, the show's going to be what, from freaking
Friday
10
through Sunday.
10 o'clock in the morning till what time?
No, it's Friday is when all the builders get there and we all do our thing. Saturday morning, we all get to the show. I don't know, about 9 a.m. And then the builders get to talk to y'all together. And then that night or that afternoon, y'all get to judge. You don't get to judge the bike while they're explaining it to you.
Of course.
You only get to listen to them. And then all of those guys
we work through the crowd and we judge it based on our criteria and we overlap our conversation and we battle and judge each other on what we're trying to communicate. Totally in it. The only reason why I say 5 minutes, 3 minutes is actually a long time because I tell you what, I've been at the IMS before and had bikes that won first place and second place at IMS in Chicago. And you get 1 minute. And 1 minute is hard. 3 minutes is probably good, but it's still like speed dating.
Yeah.
You still got to be like, all right, I got blah, 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 on my bike.
Yeah. Well, the way I look at it is because you don't, like with my Rockstar, people don't know that I built that bike on even numbers.
Right.
There's not an odd number on my bike.
Right.
But when you look at the bike and you hear that, you really start looking at the gas tank. You really start looking at the rear fender. You really start noticing different things once I told you that. A regular guy would walk up and be like, hey, it's a fucking motorcycle. But once I tell you that it's off the golden measure from Da Vinci, you really look at the bike again. And I want all these builders like Ray D. Herrera. He's on here watching tonight. He wants to be in the build-off. And he built really clean Softail and a really clean bagger for Sturgis this last year. And, he's so good at what he does. It's just like, man, if you pass this kid up without being able to spend just a minute or two or even 3 minutes with him and talk to him about what he built, you're going to miss a whole lot on his bike.
Yeah.
You're just so.
And that's the way you have to do it. And the only reason why I say 5 minutes, I mean, that's debatable still, but 3 minutes is a long time. I mean, would you stick around? I'm not saying you personally, but like to the crowd, would you hang out in the room with your ex for 3 minutes?
No.
That's a long time.
It is a long time. Well, and that's the whole thing. I'll talk to the 4 judges. Once March 1st gets here, I'm just going to start having conversations with you guys.
Yeah.
Because at that point, we'll know who everybody is. We'll know how many people are in each class. And if we feel like 5 minutes is enough time, we'll go for 5 minutes. If there's just so many people, we have to knock it down to 2 minutes. We'll do 2 minutes. But that's what I'm going to judge. But right now, I know we're going to get 3 minutes apiece. I know that.
So to speak to that too, that also means that just because you can build a bike doesn't mean you can orate what it is you did and what is the most important thing for you to talk about. And you have the criteria. You should be able to look at the criteria and say, they are judging me on this.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be able to say, I drank pickle beer while, it's like specific as fuck, man. You literally can look right at the criteria and just learn how to create the right conversation that hits all the highlights of all the shit that hits the criteria. If you're smart, hint, motherfuckers, you're going to freaking look at the criteria, create a conversation, practice it, and preach it to yourself and practice it. And if you have to, put it on your phone and look at it and write it the fuck down and time yourself speaking it. Because you know what? I learned that about IMS. I learned that you had 1 minute to talk. And so everybody would go up there. And what sucked about IMS too is like, it's loud. There's shit going on all over the place and you can't freaking hear anybody or any of this crap. A bunch of you guys that are watching this are familiar, and you yell at the top of your lungs. Well, the thing is that one year I went and I freaking took a little bullhorn and was like yelling into it so everybody could freaking hear me. And you just have to learn to hit the right bullet points. So this is a challenge in public speaking, fools.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple of people that I really want to interview, and they're like, "No, dude, I can't. You can't interview me." And I'm like, "Why?" And I was like, "Dude, we've sat on the phone for almost 45 minutes right now, just bullshitting." And it's like, I'm no good in front of people. I'm like, "You're not in front of anybody. You're in front of me. It's me and you talking."
Right, like this.
That's it. You know, everybody else has happened to be able to watch us, but it's not like we're not sitting in front of a live video, you know, live audience where people are sitting there watching us. It's just you and me talking.
It's like FaceTime.
Yeah. And so but you do have people that are like, they get real bumbled, like, oh my God, I can't talk. I can't, you know, and I'm one of those people. I can't give speeches, you know, unless I know exactly what I'm doing, you know. But anyway, so
super excited for this, man. I think it's going to be freaking amazing. I really do. And I love the fact that you're creating the documentary to go with it, because that's something that our industry needs. Our industry needs documentation, not just social media, not stuff that fades away, not all these individual pages that don't mean something, but something that can create reach. And in order to do that, you have to actually create a document or a document, and you have to be able to publish it so that it can be distributed. So selling CDs is great. The DVDs, excuse me. I don't mean to show my age.
You're young.
But in order to, create attention outside of our industry, it has to be distributed. And so I think using our channels of distribution like Hulu, Amazon, all those kind of things are super important for what you're doing, because it'll help initiate momentum. And I think this year's a good year to do it. Monster Garage, unfortunately, started right in the middle of COVID. Neil, that is on the first episode, Neil Reimer, if anybody's watched that episode, he's the dude with the tattooed head and all that shit, wearing the Tribe 16 shirt. Neil was my apprentice, man. He came into the shop a long time ago, like over 20 years ago, to just sweep floors. And that dude is killing it doing what he's doing right now. But because Monster Garage is happening again the right way, because he wants to do it the way it's being done, there's some fun momentum potential this year with the charismatic groups that do all these builds and stuff that are on television. And I think that we have an opportunity this year to capitalize on its momentum and do this and create something that also can be distributed and create attention for our industry and create growth.
Amen. Absolutely. Do you ever really go to YouTube and watch the biker build-offs? I do all the time. I mean, literally all the time.
I drive so much, and I was last time I went to Arizona, I watched all the original like season ones.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't. I do what I do right now, literally, because of Jesse James, the first Motorcycle Mania, all that shit being on TV. I was like, oh, that's cool as shit. I could do that. I was like, I would love to be in a magazine or have those tools in that shop and this stuff and this shit and space and all this crap. And it's like, fuck me, I got a tool addiction. Like, I'm sitting in it right now. It's like, that is to blame for all the shit that's around me right now.
Yeah. It's a real thing. People affect people. Mm-hmm. I mean, our country's going through that shit right now, but this industry, it literally affects people. I mean, I have people walk up to me occasionally and they're like, dude, I just love your bike. And I'm like, which one? And they're like, the Rockstar. And I'm like, oh shit, well, how would I know you like that bike? I mean, I've built 5 bikes. I didn't know. And they literally watched the entire build, and they literally, I had one guy tell me, he goes, that I want to do that one day. He's a young kid. And I was like, today is one day. Fucking go get a bicycle, dude.
Yeah.
With a bicycle. I mean, whatever you can do, just start beating on metal, Harbor Freight has welders literally for $100.
Do you know the story about my first welder? Did I ever tell you that?
Mm-mm.
So I'm a welder. I'm a person that welds, I should say. I'm a person that welds because of this exact reason. I had a friend that wanted me to bag his truck when I was, I don't know, this is mid 90s. I was like, yeah, we could do that. I've read magazines. I've seen that. I think we could figure it out. I was like, how do you cut metal? And I was like, I don't know, a torch. How do you weld? Oh, one of those stick things. Like, I didn't know shit, dude. I was total dumbass. And so we rented a stick welder. There was a generator stick welder, and we got a torch, rented a torch, and then we got some 1/4-inch plate. We like figured it out. We bagged his truck, and it was terrible, and it still exists on the road today and hadn't fallen apart. But I mean, it's really bad.
Really?
It's really bad. But bad. Like on one of those pages where you shouldn't do shit page.
Yeah.
So I knew at that point that I needed a different kind of welder, but I didn't know what it was. And so someone said, "Oh, you need a MIG welder." And I was like, "What's a MIG welder?" This is like 95, 96. And so I said, yeah, what is that? And they were like, it's got gas and the wire comes out of this gun and you pull the trigger and I was like, cool. Where do you get those? And they're like, oh, welding shops. And then I found out that this place called Harbor Freight, and I'd never been there before, had this welder. And I was like, cool, they sell welders. I'll go check them out. No internet at that time. Cause that was dial up back then, dude.
Oh yeah.
So I drive like 35, 40 miles to Harbor Freight. And I walk in and I'm standing around, I'm looking at the welders, and there's like small, medium, large, whatever, and they all take gas. And I'm looking at them, and there's this flux core thing, and I don't know what the shit that is. I just know it needs to have gas. And I'm staring at them like long and hard. I don't have the money for it, man. I'm broke as shit. I'm newly married and all this crap. And I said, the guy walks up to me and he's like, hey, man, you need help? And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just looking at the welders. He goes, do you need a welder? I was like, I mean, yeah, I do, but I'm really not sure which one. And, I don't really know if I got enough money for it or whatever. And he goes, oh, okay, well, let me know if you need any help. And he walks off and he comes back by and he goes, man, do you need a welder?
Man, do you need a welder?
And I said, yeah, we had this conversation, remember? And he goes, yeah, but do you need one? I said, yes. And he says, you got $100? I said, fuck yeah. He said, which one do you want? And I said, that one, the large one.
Right.
And so he goes, meet me outside. What are you driving? I told him what I drove. I went outside and I'm sitting there with $20 in my fucking pocket, dude. That's all I got. And the dude rolls the fucking welder outside all the way to my truck and then loads it in the back of my fucking truck, shuts the tailgate, smiling, walks up to the door and goes, you get that $100, man? I was like, nah, fuck you. What are you going to do? Go tell your boss that you just stole a welder and got fucked in the parking lot? Eat shit. And I left.
Really?
And that's how I started welding. It's so fucked up, man. And I tell you what, I swore. And the problem is like with the Personal Identity or Information Act and all that crap, I could never find this guy. And I'd probably go to jail at some point for figuring it out. But like, I would, if I could find the fucking dude who I did that shit to, I would do everything in my power to change his life and make it the most amazing life he has, because it's because of him that I started welding. And I bagged a truck, my next truck that I did, 98 Isuzu Hombre. So this was 98 when I got that welder. It was 97 when I bagged that first truck.
Yeah.
We had no parts available for it. So bagged on 18s and 20s, or no, 18s, shaved the whole fucking thing out with this welder underneath a tarp in my driveway with heat lamps and shit during the wintertime, and did all that work with this MIG welder that I had from Harbor Freight and a grinder, no chop saw, and figured it out and bagged that truck. And it was on the cover of 2 magazines and was in 4 magazines that year.
Really?
All from Texas Heatwave. And it was like, I was just so ambitious and desired to do it so much. And that was before the whole motorcycle mania movement. And then when that shit hit, I was like, wow, this is rock star shit. I got to get in on some, not motorcycle shit. I was just like, more hot rod tool shop related stuff, and it just kept growing and growing and growing, and it just snowballed from there. But the thing is like you have to start. That's just it. Like everybody that's watching right now, I would say the majority of people that are watching right now, they've started that journey. They know what it's like. They want to be a part of it, or they're a part of it, and all those kind of things. And it's super awesome to see people grow and develop and change through what they do. I mean, I didn't come into this industry saying I want to build baggers. So like I just happened to stumble into a shop that was building baggers and was fortunate to have the opportunity that I had. You know,
Right.
it's not my
Well,
first style of bike.
it's funny you have that story with that welder. That's like when I built my first bagger. I just wanted to buy my father-in-law's bagger because I saw some bikes John Shope did in magazines, not on the internet, in magazines. So when I got my father-in-law's bagger, I didn't know you could buy parts. I didn't even know that they existed in 2013.
Right.
So my best friend's like, well, how are we going to do this? I said, man, I don't know, but every time we want to do something, we figure it out. And we literally handmade every part of that bagger.
Yeah.
And, that bagger, that was 2013 when I did that. To have the mindset that you had with the mini truck, I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to get in there. I'm going to do it. That's
Figure.
what my bagger. I don't know how to do the Bondo work or the fiberglass work or anything like that, but I'm going to figure it out. And we figured it out. And now my best friend built a Honda that's a monster. And I've built 5 or 6 bikes now, 3 full builds, but it's that constant just wanting to just learn and do other stuff. Another reason I want to do this show, because it would be so awesome to have a bunch of the younger generation guys come through here and look at these bikes and ask, well, what's going on? What is this? What is? And the next year, those little fuckers are the ones that are going to be in this show.
They
That
will.
awesome shit.
Absolutely, they will. And if they're not there the next year, they'll be there 2 years later.
Oh yeah.
100% agree.
Like my son, oh my God, dude, my son just got thrown into a situation to be a construction worker, like remodeling houses and stuff.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you, he's taking everything I did when I built my bagger in 2013, and he's doing drywall and all these weird abstract shapes and inlaying stuff into walls and making these
Yeah.
weird archways. And he's like, Dad, what do you think about this? And I'm like, holy shit, what am I, dude? You're a freaking monster at that.
Awesome. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah. So in the motorcycle thing, that's what I'm trying to tell him. I was like, dude, you can do anything. After just seeing the little stuff you've done now, I'm not going to teach you how to weld. You already know.
Well, and I mean, you're aware of my generally my skill set. I'm not just a bike guy. I do general construction. I do industrial iron work. I freaking do architectural steel products. I did a job for Ariat, the boot company, recently. It was like a 1,070,000 square foot building that we did all the ornamental iron and steel structure and handrails and all that shit in. I just like to make shit, man. I like a challenge. It's not like the end product. I'm like, woo! I'm just like, really excited about all the shit it takes me to get from point A to point B. Once I get to point B, I'm just kind of like, cool, we're done. What's next?
Yeah.
It's the shit in
Oh,
the middle that makes me the most happy. It's all the things that it takes to make like the minutia. I love the minutia, man. It's all the little shit. And so like that's why I really appreciate you bringing me on as a judge, because I can see the end result, and I really value and respect what it takes to do things that I don't even like stylistically myself,
mhm.
but I can see the work that went into it, because man, I do so much shit that it's like any material that you can imagine, I've pretty much worked with.
Oh, yeah. And see, and that's what I think some of these guys, and I'm really hoping that, a couple of these guys weren't just blowing wind up my skirt, because there's a, there's a couple of guys occasionally. There's a
Okay.
couple of guys that actually I'd never heard of them before, and they reached out to me, and I'm like, dude, you build bikes? And they're like, well, yeah, in my garage. How many have you built? One. And you're going to gamble on yourself with $2,500? He's like, hell yeah.
I love
And
that
I'm like,
confidence, man. That's
that's
bad.
who I want. That's who I
That's,
want in this show.
that's ambition, man. And I
Oh
love
yeah.
ambition like a motherfucker.
So I'm excited. I hope more builders come in. That's why I extended the deadline date to March 1st, is because I'm giving them that 2 full months at the first of the year. Come on, guys, talk to your friends. If you want some more builders in here, let some people know. It's 25 to enter, but I'm telling you, it's going to get a lot of publicity. And plus, it's going to be on the internet. Because I'm going to, do the interviews with everybody. I'm going to go live for the finale to say who's winning and show all the bikes and all that stuff. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be really good for
Super
everybody.
excited about it, man. I think it's going to be an amazing thing for everybody this year. And not only that, but a real close friend of mine does social media for Lone Star.
Really?
Yes, and works directly for the event. So
I
would
male
love
or female?
My friend.
Yeah.
She's a female.
Okay, so I know two of them. I know Candace, and the other girl starts with an S.
Savannah.
It might be Savannah. I've only talked to her a couple of times.
It's most definitely Savannah. I'll let you know.
It is most. Okay.
I know really well.
Okay. Okay. Got you, bro. All right. Yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah, I'm waiting to talk to them because they said they weren't going to do anything until the first of the year. They weren't even going to start discussing stuff.
Yeah, they won't start discussing business items yet because they've got to kind of filter through what's going on. And I think that all of us realize that we're still technically going to be put on hold till like July. Here's my take on it. The world is going to be healed of COVID, and we're all going to have the most amazing 4th of July. You know why? We solved America's problems. Hooray, we're patriotic. 4th of July. Chipper. Like, fuck people. But anyway, not to be political, but that shit's happening.
Oh, yeah.
They keep saying June, July. Watch. I'll put my $2,500 on that shit.
Oh, shit, so, right.
Either way, I think that with or without the show, with or without the event, the show goes on. It still happens. Yeah. And I
have a backup plan for it too.
You can't stop people from showing up. Sturgis was pure proof of that shit this year, and I saw you there.
Yeah, you did. And I love their governor. I'm just going to put that right out there. Told my wife already.
Me too.
I love him, really know him. Well, anyway, bro. Okay, man. Well, I'm going to let you get out of here, dude. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on here last minute
with me, man. I appreciate you so very much, man. I love what you're doing. I think it's amazing.
If you need anything from me, you just reach out. You got my number.
Thank you so very much, man. You guys have an amazing evening. I'm going to listen on or watch on.
All right, brother. See you later.
Take care. Bye.
All right, everybody. So there you go. One of the judges, Chris Moose. Y'all know he's a monster. Everybody knows he's a monster. Dude's so freaking amazing. I'm so happy he's going to be a part of this with me. I want to bring on Dustin Maben. I want to bring on Patrick, and I want to bring on Curly in the next couple of months. Also, get all the judges interview time and talk time. But here's the deal. It's time to make the page grow. So all you got to do is push the share button. The last video we did, we had like 45 shares. We had over 60 people watching tonight at one time, which is pretty good numbers. So share it up. That's the way that this works. It's the way we get the more fans, the more people watching, the more people involved. I know who my core group are. Jay Bose is in the house, Bruno, Matthew, Marsha Fitzpatrick, Aaron Crispin. I mean, we've got, everybody. Michelle's watching, Uncle Bruno's watching. Everybody that's normally here is here tonight. So just push the share button. Let them know what's going on with this, and let them know that one of the biggest things in the industry is starting to happen right now. Anyway, you guys, don't worry about all this shit that's going on, man. Love each other. That's all I'm going to tell you. Don't worry about all this shit going on. Love each other. Y'all be good, man.